Alright, I finally got this thing to work, and the way that you do this is that you have to uninstall the Ruby installation that I had, which was 2.4, and you need 2.3, and then obviously 64-bit or 32-bit, whatever your system is. Now you can use one of those fancy things that manage your Ruby installers. I don't do that. I just uninstalled it and reinstalled it again. Then once I did that, I ran through all these stupid things that you have to do with bundle. Did bundle install, then couldn't find bundle, had to reinstall bundle using gem. Then once I did that, it told me that I didn't have some of these these build tools, and so I had to install those. And they tell you how to do that in this development kit, which I'll include in the description of the video. And then once I had that done, I finally got to do bundle install. Excuse me. And it finished installing all the stupid Calabash dependencies that you need to do this. So I'm just going to do some other things like gem update system, just to make sure that it's up to date. That might take a second actually. Okay, so and then bundle update, and I just installed it, so I think it's fine. It's getting this JSON from a Git repo that I have, and I can put my gem file in there. So that's what my gem file looks like right now. But that seems to be working. So now what I'm going to do is finally continue on with this tutorial as soon as I got this stupid problem finally solved, and we're going to create our Calabash Android Gen. So I'm going to copy that and run bundle execute, paste in that. And now it should give us the same message that's on the on our prompt here on our web browser. It'll probably take a second. La 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 la. If we live long enough, we will see the output which asks us a question. Takes about 100% of the time, 90% of the time. Then once we have the stupid question asked to us, we can continue on with this tutorial where we'll create our first test, and we can run it on my Android device, which I will plug in and then make a video of for the first time ever. So the first time doing this, so it doesn't have anything cached, so it might be why it's taking longer than normal. Alright. Is it gonna finish today? Why is it taking so long? Did it create the directories? No, it did not. What's going on? Oh! I was waiting for me to hit enter. Okay. So I created the features directory finally. That was silly. So now if I look in here, it should have the features directory. So this is what it looks like. It says my first feature, then it has support, which has these built-in Ruby files already made for you, and then it also has this steps definitions file. So now that that's done, we can create our first feature. I'm just going to copy this, and then I'm going to edit the feature. Actually, we should do that. And we'll just delete all that nonsense. We'll go in here and we'll paste this in. Oh, where's the rest of my stuff? That's weird. Copy all of that, please. Okay. Paste. Where is it? Alright, is this thing gonna make me type it? Card validation. Must be. Given I wait for the finally. Alright, that's good. So now we have that done, we can continue on, blah blah blah, and then we just want to do this, and then path to the APK. I'm going to copy that, type bundle execute, and paste in that command, and then you need the path to your APK, which you can find using the finder, which came up for us when we built the APK. I'm going to paste that there and hit tab, hit the slash key, or okay, it didn't doesn't do it like I wanted it to. Users download blah blah. App build outputs. App build outputs. I think it's APK and APK hyphen debug. App debug APK, right? Yeah, I think that's it. Alright, let's see what that does. It did not have the letter C in front of it. What the hell? Oh, that was weird. Oh, cannot find Android SDK. Okay, so I didn't add that to my path. So we got to do that. So let's do add Android SDK to path, and then there's this nice Stack Overflow yeah, this thing. Yep, so that's where it is. So now we just gotta go here, go to editor path variables, and click on environment variables, and then look for the path, click edit, and then we're gonna click new, and we're gonna browse, and we're gonna look in our users for Android Studio. We have 2.3. Somewhere in our library or something. We have a library directory? I don't think we do. Where's my browsing window? Alright, we gotta find where the stupid SDK is. Local app data, Android SDK. Okay. Thank you, Stack Overflow. So that's in users, so me, then app data. Local, Android, and the SDK is right there. So add that to the path, click OK, and I might actually need to exit and then do this over again. Yeah, okay, so exit, and then bash. I need to make a variable called Android Home. That's what I need to do. So I need to go to environment variables again, edit the environment variables. There's not one there, so we'll make a new one. Find the same one. Android SDK. Okay. Exit it again. Cool, worked that time. So I'll put that in the description too. So let's continue with this. Okay, so that worked, and then now that we have created the test, we said let's run it locally against Android emulator, ensure that you have Android emulator running, and then doing the command prompt, do all this crap. So we're going to run this file, and I have an emulator right here, and I said that you shouldn't use the emulator. I'm going to make it on a physical device for purposes of this video. I'm just going to use the emulator right now. In the second video I'll do physical device. Alright, so here's our emulator. Our credit card validator thing is up and running. And there we go. So then once we have this, then we do Calabash Android run and then path the APK. So I'm just going to hit up. And then we'll see what happens. So it looks like something's happening to our thing. Ran the feature. Credit card numbers must be exactly 16 characters. Did a success. Let's see. It skipped all the steps and it failed ultimately. And it did look like it did something here. So I've seen this error once before. These are warnings. And I think the solution to this is when you build the APK, you have to build this in a debugged mode. So I believe you have to do this. Let's run it again. Okay, the application isn't running, but shows that the tests were successful. Skipped all the tests. App did not start. Runtime error. There is an error in the before of one of these things. So I've seen this before. So we'll change the directory to features. And go into the support directory, and we need to edit the app lifecycle RB, and you need to add some code here, and don't remember exactly which code it is. I need to look at the error again. Going to copy this back to my web browser. And the answer was in one of these Google groups. Not reinstalling, that's dumb. it's in one of these Google Groups. The default code that's generated for you does not work out of the box, and it's a very simple piece of code that you have to add to it. This is saying to look at the Android manifest file and make sure it has the internet. Looks like ours does not have access to the internet, so let's just do that just to make sure. I'm going to save this, run in debug mode again. Let's go ahead and clean the project, remove any cached stuff. And we're just going to see if this is working. Okay, so the APK file must have disappeared, so we're going to have to build a new one. Okay, so that built. There we go. Alright, there we go, and then it worked. So the emulator test worked. So the problem was that we couldn't access the internet. Probably because it uses a server to do all this stuff. So then, there we go. You've seen it work. So, end of this video, and I'm going to do the test on my phone to see what happens. Thanks for watching.